Have you seen this before? Well, what if I told you that this is actually a secret within Mario 64? Would you believe me? If you were a kid, you would. But this is what makes Mario 64 so creepy. Let's discuss. So when Super Mario 64 came out for the N64, it was a blast. It was the first 3D Mario platformer that we ever had access to. And us fans were so intrigued by this that we had to go in and complete this. You know, completing stars, jumping through paintings, finding secrets, and even defeating Bowser himself. This game was so successful that it even had 2 variations of it. One being Super Mario 64 DS, and the other one being on the Switch for Super Mario 3D All-Stars with Super Mario 64 HD, I guess you can call it. But the weird thing is that just like that clip that I showed you at the beginning, and that will be at the end of the video, there has been so much weird and crazy things that us fans have speculated about this game. Like this first one, for example. If we look at Wet Dry World, this is a staple amongst Mario fans, and this brings off some sort of negative aura from the community. I don't know what it is, we don't know what it is, but it could be the music, it could be the atmosphere, it could be the outside map where there's a town underneath the water. I have zero idea, and I don't know why Nintendo would put something like this in the game, but when you actually sit here and play on this map, you get a lot of weird emotions. Like, you know, there's nothing here, and the music is weird for this environment. It's weird because also it's used in Jolly Roger Bay, but that track is a little bit more better and more suited for it. But when you go to a course like Wet Dry World, it's just so eerie, so creepy. Like, it just brings me flashbacks to when I played it as a kid. It was just creeped out of my mind. Not to mention that these spiders were everywhere, launch you off the cliff. So it's just, those are like the only things there, and it's just a very weird environment to be in. But there's something else throughout the entirety of Mario 64 that just has us feel sort of empty. And I'm talking about there is barely any NPCs within this environment. Now, when you go from course to course, or even the hub world himself, you see a few toads lying around. Of course, you see the boos lying around, but it just feels completely empty. Now, this could be due to generational hardware at the time. This could be Nintendo wanted a more immersive experience. The idea, you know, is not set in stone on why this was so empty. But when you're walking around, you know, let's say even out back in the gardens, it just feels so eerie and so empty, not to mention that there's boos there that can jump scare you at any time. And if you're playing this as a kid or even as an adult, you know, like myself who gets creeped out really easily, it's just a very weird environment to be in because you don't know what's gonna happen, and just the whole entire map and area just sets the mood for something that's just unsettling. But I have to bring this up because this is more of a personal take for me, and this is gonna jog some memories into your brains as well. That is going to be the Haunted Mansion level within Super Mario 64. I'm getting goosebumps literally thinking about it now. So this level is so creepy that this has scarred my memory. Okay, maybe not that dramatic, but you guys get the idea. This map really implants something into my head. For starters, let's talk about the creepy music within this map. You know, you spawn in, the way you enter this map is through a cage, first of all, and then you're into the Haunted Mansion, which is just super creepy, that there's eerie music, you don't know where you are, you're shrunken down inside this cage. So many fan theories regarding this whole entire situation. Not to mention, when you're collecting some of the stars, for example, you might come across something that seems so innocent, but scares you when you get too close. I'm talking about the infamous piano. Now, personally, this has got me as a kid, and and I have never been so scared in my entire life. Like I said, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. I don't remember the exact thing that happened, but I remember so vividly to the point where just thinking about it, like I said, gives me goosebumps. Because you're casually walking up to this piano. Next thing you know, he springs open and starts chomping on you, and it has teeth. It just, makes this weird ding like a jump scare. This is like perfectly set by Nintendo to scare us Nintendo fans. And if you were playing this as a kid, just like me, you would probably be crying in your sleep and you would never want to touch this game again. But I continued playing this game, and Lord and behold, another weird and eerie secret is the merry-go-round. Like, how weird is it that you go to this haunted mansion, then you go in the basement, only to find this innocent-looking merry-go-round that just, doesn't really seem like much, but as soon as you step in it, you just get this sense of, okay, I want to turn off this game and go play something like Diddy Kong Racing or something like that. It's just the weirdest environment, like in Mario 64, that just baffles my mind to this day on how this was even released within this title. Okay, so let's connect me and you for a second. I look at you and I say, don't play Mario 64. Wario comes out of the painting chasing you. And you're like, no he doesn't. I was in that same exact area and he didn't chase me. And I tell you, no, he did. Come over and I'll show you. And then you come over and then all of a sudden nothing happens. And you could have sworn that something happened. This is two popular fan theories that we have to discuss here. First one being, every copy of Super Mario 64 is personalized and Wario's apparition. Now, both these things are not in the game. This has been confirmed by, the coding of the game and also just the amount of editing that we have seen online. But the weird thing is you would believe anything as kids. If I told you that there was a dog with a blue eye and a brown tail, for example, or there's a unicorn outside. The funny thing is, you would believe it, just like myself. I mean, not really the unicorn part, but you guys get the idea. It's just something about, saying some sort of lie to get everyone excited or to make everyone creeped out to not play this game or to play it just made the community, feel sort of eerie and uneasy, whatever way you want to look at it. The other thing, too, is the Wario apparition. Now, again, this is not in the game. This was confirmed by the code that Wario's apparition is not in the game. But just seeing these videos, just seeing the way that this stuff happens, it's just so weird to me that, like, I feel like it could be in the game. Like, I feel like, there's something in the code that can trigger this apparition, because if we look back on earlier, there's no other Mario characters here, and it's just Mario, a few Toads, and Yoshi at the end. So it's weird that this feels like it's possible, but in reality, it's not. But what I want to do is talk about what you guys saw at the very beginning. So let's turn it back to the very beginning of this video, of the reason why you guys clicked on this video. This, if I showed you this as a kid, if YouTube existed back then, we would all never play Mario 64 again. Let's just be real. Since when did Mario 64 become a horror game? Just stuff like this, seeing stuff on YouTube, looking at everything, then looking at the iceberg. Some of this stuff just really does feel real, even though it's really, heavy editing or ROM hacks. The way that you could title, the way that you can market a certain thing, just utterly feels so real and so creepy. Like, we all know that this is just a ROM hack at the end of the day, but this is something that I feel like could definitely exist, because you see this random entity coming at Mario at high speeds, and he's just in the middle of a dark bub-on battlefield. And even that this game, like, this is a ROM hack, it just still feels weird. Like, let's say you go and play Mario 64 to the day, and then you see this, it's just going to trigger some random psychological stuff in your brain to the fact that it's just like, okay, I saw this. Is this specific thing going to happen within my game? But honestly, that's enough yapping today about the creepy dark side of Mario 64. If you guys did enjoy today's video, please smash that thumbs up button. I had this random video idea, and I just wanted to make it just to talk about it. But if you guys want to stay up to date with anything Mario related, if you guys want to see more of this stuff, support the video, hype the video, do whatever you guys want. Subscribe to the channel if you guys do want to see more Mario content and more breakdown analysis like this. This is Ace signing off. Stay healthy, stay clean. Bye.